I spent years preparing for a life I was already living, and I didn't realize it until one quiet morning when nothing was wrong, but nothing felt right either. That's the part that still confuses people when I try to explain it. There was no crisis, no illness, no dramatic loss. Just a sudden awareness that the life I kept getting ready for had already passed through my hands. For most of my adult life, I believed I was being sensible, careful, responsible, disciplined. I told myself I wasn't living yet because I was preparing. Preparing financially, preparing emotionally, preparing for stability. I didn't say no to life. I said later. And later sounded harmless. Later when things calm down. Later when I'm more secure. Later when the timing is right. I believed that one day I'd wake up and feel ready. What I didn't understand is that readiness is a moving target. It keeps stepping back every time you think you've reached it. From the outside, my life looked full. I had routines, plans, responsibilities. My days were structured, my weeks predictable. I was always working towards something, the next phase, the next improvement, the next version of myself. That constant forward motion gave me a sense of purpose. But purpose without presence becomes a distraction. I didn't notice how rarely I asked myself whether I was actually enjoying my days. I assumed enjoyment would come after preparation. Is that it doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like maturity. You tell yourself, I'm not avoiding life, I'm just being patient. But patience without a deadline quietly turns into delay. Years passed that way, not wasted, just deferred. I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't fully engaged either. I lived in a constant state of readiness for something that never arrived. The strange thing about postponement is that it doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like maturity. You tell yourself, I'm not avoiding life, I'm just being patient. But patience without a deadline quietly turns into delay. Years passed that way, not wasted, just deferred. I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't fully engaged either. I lived in a constant state of readiness for something that never arrived. There were signs, of course. Moments when I felt oddly detached from my own life. Times when I completed a goal and felt nothing afterward. Days when I looked forward to rest more than anything else, but didn't know what I'd actually do with it. I told myself these feelings were temporary. They weren't. They were warnings, quiet ones. I believed preparation gave me control. Control over outcomes, control over risk, control over uncertainty. But life doesn't reward control the way we think it does. It rewards engagement. I spent so much time managing life that I forgot to experience it. I planned conversations instead of having them. I scheduled joy instead of allowing it. I measured time instead of feeling it. The realization didn't come during a big moment. It came during an ordinary one. A morning where everything was in order. Bills paid, schedule clear, no urgent problems. And yet, sitting there, I felt a quiet emptiness. Not sadness, not panic, just a simple thought. If this is the life I was preparing for, why does it feel unfinished? That question stayed with me. I realized something unsettling. I had been treating my real life as a rehearsal. always warming up, always preparing, never stepping fully onto the stage. I thought the real part would begin once I felt complete. But completeness doesn't arrive first. It emerges through living. I don't think people postpone life because they're lazy. They postpone because they're afraid. Afraid of wasting time. Afraid of making the wrong choice. Afraid of starting before they're ready. So they wait. They refine. They prepare. And while they do, life continues quietly in the background. The cost wasn't dramatic. It wasn't visible. It showed up as conversations that never went deeper, interests I never explored, moments I didn't fully enter. Nothing was taken from me. I traded it away, piece by piece, in exchange for the comfort of readiness. I don't tell this story with anger. I understand why I lived the way I did. It made sense at the time. But understanding doesn't erase consequence. There are versions of myself I'll never meet now, lives I could have lived differently. Not better, just more fully. If I could speak to my younger self, I wouldn't tell him to stop planning. I'd tell him to stop waiting. I'd tell him, don't postpone joy until you feel ready for it. Read the book now. Take the walk today. Have the conversation while it's still uncomfortable. Life doesn't reward perfect timing. It rewards participation. At 82, I've learned that life isn't something you arrive at. It's something you're already inside, whether you notice it or not. The danger isn't failure. It's distraction. It's living in preparation mode until the moment has passed. If you're listening to this and thinking, I'm just getting ready, I'll start soon. Ask yourself something honestly. How long have you been preparing? And what exactly are you waiting for? I spent years preparing for a life I was already living. I didn't lose it. I delayed it. If this reflection made you pause, share it with someone who might need to hear it. Leave a comment and tell me one thing you'll stop postponing. And subscribe to The Last Lesson. Some lessons don't come with urgency. They come quietly, once there's less time left to act on them.